Hello, 4th graders. Welcome to Lesson 8.3. Multiply a fraction by a whole number. Please pause to write the lesson number and title in your notebook. Today's objective is I can use a model to multiply a fraction by a whole number. Please pause to write the lesson objective in your notebook. Let's begin by reading the Unlock the Problem. It says, Raphael practices the violin for 3/4 of an hour each day. He has a recital in 3 days. How much will he practice in 3 days? The first thing that we need to do is look at our green box. It says, how many equal groups of 3/4 should we model? Well, we know that we have 3 days. So we are going to have 3 equal parts of 3/4. So first, let's use a model, a picture, to show this. So here we have circles, and each one of the circles are split into 4 pieces. So let's color in 3 of the 4 pieces, since he's going to practice for 3/4 of an hour. So 1, 2, 3. There's 1 3/4. Let's go to our next one. 1, 2, 3. There's 2 3/4. And here's our last one. 1, 2, and 3. 3 3/4. So one group of 3/4 is 3/4. 2 groups of 3/4, let's count. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, now I have 6/4. And in my last group, I have 3 more, so I have 6, 7, 8, 9. So 3 groups of 3/4 is 9/4. So 3 times 3/4 is 9/4. So Raphael will practice for 9/4 of an hour in all. Let's look at question 1 and 2 to further our information. It says, 1. Explain how you can use repeated addition with the model to find the product of 3/4. Well, in each example, in each model, we colored in 3 out of 4, and we did that 3 times. So that would look like 3/4 plus 3/4 plus 3/4. And if we add all of our numerators together, that would give us 9/4. Or we can also look at our example of our multiplication and multiply our whole number by our numerator. 3 times 3 is 9, and our denominator is 4, 9/4. Question 2 says, Raphael's daily practice of 3/4 of an hour's sessions lasts for 1/4 hour each. Describe how the model shows the number of practice sessions that he's going to have in 3 days. So that means if we look at each one of these 9/4, if we look at each one of the 9/4 as a unit fraction of 1/4, then we need to know how many times he's going to do the 1/4. That brings us back to our multiplying. So we can write this out as 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4, but that would take us a really long time. So instead we can write it as there are 9 groups of 1/4. So that means that he, in those 3 days, is going to get together and practice 9 times. Each one will be 1/4 hour long, 1 unit fraction. Let's continue on to the next page. Example 2 has us using a pattern to multiply. We know how to use a model and represent repeated addition to multiply a fraction by a whole number. Let's look for a pattern in the table to discover another way to multiply a fraction by a whole number. So here in our first example, we have 6, and it looks like there are 2 whole bars that are used full of 6, and in each one we've colored in 1. But we have in total 2 1/6. So here's our fraction, 2 1/6. So the whole number groups, the number of total groups that I have is 2. And each one of those has colored in 1/6. So there's our 1/6. And then when we multiply them together, we get 2/6. That's 1/6 plus 1/6. Okay, now here we have 2 models again, but in each one we have 2/6 that are colored in. So we have 2 bars and each one has 2 filled in. So now we have 2 total groups, 2 parts of 6 colored in, and we multiply. 2 times 2 is 4/6. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, and our last model, oh look, we still have 2 whole bars, 2 models, but there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 total colored in, and there are 3 in each. So there are 2 whole groups, and in each whole group, 3 of them are colored in. And if we look, 2 times 3 is 6, 6, which is a whole. So even though they are in 2 separate bars, we know that 6, 6 equals a whole. When we multiply a fraction by a whole number, the numerator in the product is the product of the whole number and the numerator. So that means in our example here that we multiply the 2, the whole number, times the 3, the numerator. And then we get the product that is the same, and our denominator doesn't change. Because remember, a denominator is a label. So we're not going to multiply the label. So the denominator in the product is the same as the denominator. In the fraction, because denominators are labels. We will continue on with questions 3 and 4 tomorrow in class. You're almost finished. When you're sure you have everything written down, go back to your teacher's website and complete the exit slip. See you tomorrow.